This single pineapple costs more than most people's monthly grocery bill. $400 for one fruit. And here's what will absolutely blow your mind. There are people willing to pay twice that amount just to get their hands on one. And there's a waiting list that stretches for months. But this isn't just about wealthy people buying overpriced fruit. This is about 16 years of genetic engineering, soil conditions more precise than a pharmaceutical lab, and a harvesting process so delicate it makes brain surgery look rough. Because the real story isn't about the price tag. It's about how Del Monte created what scientists are calling the holy grail of tropical fruit, and why this crimson-skinned marvel might actually be worth every penny of that shocking price. Today we're taking you inside the most exclusive agricultural operation on Earth, where a single miscalculation can destroy 2 weeks of work, where each fruit is treated like a precious gemstone, and where the difference between a $400 pineapple and worthless compost comes down to harvesting at exactly the right hour of exactly the right day. So buckle up. We're about to discover why this ruby red fruit is being called the Rolls-Royce of pineapples, and whether it's genius or madness to spend more on one fruit than some people spend on a week's vacation. The story begins not in a tropical paradise, but in sterile laboratories where Del Monte's geneticists embarked on what seemed like an impossible mission: create a pineapple that would redefine luxury fruit forever. This wasn't just about making something expensive, it was about engineering perfection. The Rubyglow Pineapple is the result of traditional crossbreeding. No genetic modification, just old-fashioned plant science taken to its absolute extreme. Del Monte's team tested over 100 different pineapple varieties, analyzing sugar content, acidity levels, flesh density, and most importantly, that signature red skin that makes the Rubyglow instantly recognizable. But here's where the science gets wild. That stunning red exterior isn't painted, dyed, or artificially enhanced. It's the result of a genetic trait so rare that it occurs naturally in less than 0.001% of all pineapple plants. The breeding process required creating controlled environments where temperature, humidity, and even the angle of sunlight were manipulated to encourage the expression of specific genes. Each generation of plants was meticulously documented, with scientists tracking over 200 different characteristics to achieve the perfect combination. After 16 years of an estimated $50 million in research and development, Del Monte finally achieved their goal: a pineapple with ruby red skin, golden flesh that's 50% sweeter than traditional varieties, and a flavor profile so complex it includes notes of berry, citrus, and what taste experts describe as tropical honey. The Rubyglow pineapple can only be grown in one place on Earth: a 50-acre section of Del Monte's premium plantation in Costa Rica's Central Valley. This isn't just any farmland. It's agricultural real estate more valuable per square foot than some Manhattan penthouses. The soil here undergoes testing that would make a NASA laboratory jealous. Every square meter is analyzed for 47 different mineral components. pH levels are monitored hourly, and the organic matter content must be maintained at exactly 3.2%. Any variation, and the pineapples won't develop their signature characteristics. But the real challenge isn't the soil, it's the climate control. Costa Rica's weather is notoriously unpredictable, and a single unexpected rainstorm can ruin an entire crop worth millions of dollars. The Rubyglow growing area is protected by a sophisticated weather monitoring system that includes 200 sensors measuring temperature, humidity, wind speed, and soil moisture every 30 seconds. When conditions threaten to deviate from the optimal range, automated systems deploy protective covers and adjust irrigation with military precision. Each Rubyglow plant is grown in isolation, spaced exactly 4.2 meters apart to prevent cross-pollination and ensure genetic purity. The plants are hand-tended by workers who undergo 6 months of specialized training. They're essentially fruit surgeons, capable of detecting problems that would be invisible to ordinary farmers. Here's something that will shock you. Each Rubyglow plant produces exactly one pineapple every 2 years. Compare that to regular pineapples, which can produce fruit annually, and you begin to understand why these ruby gems command such astronomical prices. Growing a Rubyglow pineapple is like raising a thoroughbred racehorse. Every day matters, every detail is crucial, and the investment is enormous. The process begins with crown planting, where specially selected crowns from previous Rubyglow harvests are planted in soil that's been prepared for 6 months. Month 1 through 6. The crown develops its root system while workers monitor for any signs of disease or stress. Each plant receives exactly 2.3 liters of filtered water daily, delivered through a precision irrigation system that costs more per meter than most people's cars. Month 7 through 12. The plant begins developing its characteristic red-tinged leaves. This is where the magic starts to happen. The same genes that will eventually create the red skin begin expressing themselves in the foliage. Month 13 through 18. The plant begins flowering. But these aren't ordinary pineapple flowers. Rubyglow flowers have a subtle red tint and produce nectar with a sugar content 300% higher than regular pineapple flowers. This attracts specific pollinators that help enhance the fruit's eventual flavor profile. Month 19 to 24, the fruit development phase. This is where 2 years of careful cultivation either pay off spectacularly or result in heartbreaking failure. The developing pineapple is monitored daily, with workers checking for proper color development, size progression, and the telltale signs that indicate whether this particular fruit will meet Rubyglow standards. Only 60% of Rubyglow plants actually produce fruit that meets Del Monte's quality standards. The rest, representing nearly 2 years of investment each, are composted. This 40% failure rate is built into that $400 price tag. Harvesting a Rubyglow pineapple is like performing surgery while defusing a bomb. The timing must be absolutely perfect. Harvest too early and the fruit won't reach its full flavor potential. Harvest too late and the delicate flesh becomes overripe and unmarketable. The harvest team consists of just 12 specially trained workers who can identify the exact moment of peak ripeness. They look for a specific shade of red that Del Monte calls Ruby Grade A. A color so precise it's been trademarked and can only be identified by workers who've undergone months of color training. Each harvester wears white cotton gloves and uses padded tools that cost $200 each. Why? Because a single scratch or bruise on the skin can reduce the fruit's value from $400 to zero instantly. The harvesting process itself is a choreographed dance. The pineapple is cut using a specialized knife that creates a perfectly smooth cut, then immediately placed in a custom-molded foam cradle that protects every millimeter of the precious skin. The entire process, from cutting to cradling, must be completed in under 90 seconds to prevent oxidation. Here's something that sounds like science fiction. Each Rubyglow pineapple is photographed from 16 different angles, using high-resolution cameras that can detect imperfections invisible to the human eye. Only fruits that pass this digital inspection move on to packaging. The Rubyglow packaging process makes Tiffany & Company look casual. Each pineapple is nestled in a custom-designed box that costs $47 to manufacture, more than most people spend on an entire week's worth of fruit. The box itself is a work of art: sustainable bamboo exterior, velvet-lined interior, and a magnetic closure that opens with the satisfying click of a luxury watch case. Inside, the pineapple sits in a molded cushion that's been precisely shaped to cradle that specific fruit's unique contours. But the real engineering marvel isn't the box, it's the atmosphere inside it. Each package is filled with a proprietary gas mixture that slows ripening and preserves flavor. This isn't just nitrogen or carbon dioxide. It's a custom blend that Del Monte spent 3 years perfecting, and the exact composition is a trade secret more closely guarded than Coca-Cola's formula. The packaging facility operates like a clean room, with workers wearing hairnets, gloves, and shoe covers. The temperature is maintained at exactly 62 degrees Fahrenheit, and humidity is controlled to within 2%. Even the lighting is specialized. LED arrays that emit specific wavelengths, designed not to trigger any ripening responses in the fruit. Each packaged Rubyglow comes with a certificate of authenticity, complete with the harvest date, the specific plant it came from, and even the name of the worker who harvested it. It's like a birth certificate for fruit. So why does this pineapple cost more than a decent smartphone? Let's break down that shocking price tag. Research and development, $127. That 16-year breeding program and ongoing genetic research doesn't pay for itself. Del Monte estimates they've invested over $50 million in Rubyglow development, and they're still recouping those costs. Growing costs, $89. 2 years of premium care, specialized soil, climate control systems, and expert labor. When you calculate the cost per square foot of that exclusive Costa Rican real estate, it's more expensive than growing orchids in Manhattan. Harvest and quality control, $56. Those specialized tools, expert harvesters, and the 40% rejection rate all factor into the final price. Every Rubyglow you buy is essentially subsidizing the ones that didn't make the cut. Packaging and shipping, $73. That luxury box, controlled atmosphere packaging, and temperature-controlled shipping from Costa Rica to your local retailer. Most Rubyglows are air-shipped to maintain freshness, adding significantly to the cost. Retailer markup and import duties, $55. By the time it reaches stores like Melissa's Produce, various markups and import fees have added their share to the price. To put this in perspective, a $400 Rubyglow costs more per pound than Japanese Wagyu beef, Osetra caviar, or white truffles. It's literally one of the most expensive foods on Earth by weight. The Rubyglow isn't alone in the ultra-premium fruit market. Japan's Yubakari King melons sell for up to $45,000 per pair at auction. Densuki watermelons can cost $6,000 each. Ruby Roman grapes have sold for $400 per cluster. But here's what makes the Rubyglow different. It's the first luxury fruit designed specifically for the global market. While Japanese premium fruits are often cultural artifacts tied to gift-giving traditions, the Rubyglow was engineered from day one to appeal to international luxury consumers. The fruit has developed its own subculture. There are Rubyglow unboxing videos on social media, exclusive tasting events in major cities, and even a secondary market where particularly perfect specimens sell for double the retail price. And here's something that will make you see luxury differently. Del Monte is already working on the next generation. Rumor has it they're developing a purple pineapple that could make the $400 Rubyglow look like a bargain. So is a $400 pineapple worth it? From a purely nutritional standpoint, probably not. But from the perspective of agricultural innovation, luxury experience, and pure exclusivity, the Rubyglow represents something unprecedented. The successful transformation of a common tropical fruit into a luxury commodity that rivals jewelry and fine art. Del Monte produces fewer than 3,000 Rubyglow pineapples per year. To put that in perspective, they grow more regular pineapples in a single day than Rubyglows in an entire year. So the next time you see a regular pineapple in the grocery store for $4, remember, somewhere in Costa Rica, there's a fruit that took 2 years to grow, was harvested by hand-selected experts, and costs 100 times more. Whether that's brilliant marketing or agricultural artistry is up to you to decide. Would you spend $400 on a pineapple? And more importantly, what's the most expensive food you've ever tried? Drop your luxury food experiences in the comments below. And if this video changed how you think about fruit pricing, hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing food economics that'll make you question everything in your kitchen.